Gomez and Company, as we welcome in our pal Joe Convertino Jr. from CH Insurance for our Cup of Joe. Joe, good morning. How are you?
Hey, good morning. I've missed you guys. It's been probably over 3 weeks.
It's been a couple. Yeah, we were off for a week, and then I know you had some work travel mixed in there. But
wow,
you
had a week off?
Yeah,
you guys had a week off. I wish I could get a week off.
Well, you were at an event. We were talking a little bit offline there, but with a speaker, like a guest speaker.
Oh, it was great. We had a bunch of us from CH Insurance. They have a Buffalo Insurance Day. I mean, picture 1,500 insurance people around the Northeast. That's exciting, right, Lisa?
Oh, boy. Did you have to wear a tie? Was it like a bad tie convention, or are you guys more chill these days?
No, it's chilling. The blazer without the tie. But, I remember when my dad used to go in a respectful way. Gotta love the old-timers. They're still wearing that tie and suit from back in the 70s and 80s and, that. But it was great. It's a big trade show. It's some education. And I was telling Gomez, the guest speaker was David Faraday, who, Faraday's been through some rough times. I've been reading his book. He was the CBS announcer for many years with Jim Nance and then obviously went to Liv, but they asked the question about, can the PGA and Liv, how's it going to survive? And, with his humor, he's like, yes, of course people should get paid, but it's similar to, he said, tennis. It's all about the four majors, and in tennis, the professionals can play wherever they want. Mm-hmm. So he's comparing it that it's going to be like tennis someday.
This past weekend, Joe, they had the PGA event on television was that Zurich Classic, the team competition, on one channel, and on the CW they were carrying the Liv tournament. And I got to say, I was going back and forth for a bit. There seemed to be far more people and a little more excitement at the Liv tournament than the PGA event.
I heard they had 95,000 at that event. Was it in Australia?
I believe so, yeah.
95,000. So, I don't know. That's a whole different topic. We could talk for an hour on what the PGA, but it feels like they're playing defense, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah.
Joe.
It's just...
well, on to today. It's May 1st, and again, we were chatting a little bit offline, but seasonal this time of the year, Joe. Anything that people should be paying attention to now that we're turning the page and the year is, believe it or not, a third over. Here with
Can you believe it?
4 months in.
It's unbelievable. But I want to touch base a little, and Lisa will love this topic. Special events insurance. A lot of people are organizing things and fundraising and, helping people out that maybe have sickness or illness, and they do different events. And just make sure you have some protection. And there's a term called special events coverage, guys. And, for $200, $300, $400 for a full day, people's personal liability doesn't protect them for this, right? For a slip and fall or something were to happen. Obviously, if you're at a business or something's catered, make sure they have the insurance because it's just so important. With litigation today, I just want to make sure our listeners are properly protected and know that their personal liability is not going to protect them in this type of scenario. And maybe you guys thought of some things too, Lisa. I thought of you some different things that you see out there that people are doing.
Yeah. Well, if you have a fundraiser where you have like a dinner, for instance, or like a clam bake, for instance, and you have had this fundraiser for years and your organization makes, $10,000 on this fundraiser. One person gets sick and you've got a problem, and this is what you're talking about. I mean, that's like a real life scenario. If somebody gets sick, and as you're saying, if somebody, or if your event gets canceled because of rain or some other thing, those protections you can put in the policy. Also, this is for like big events where you're making tens of thousands of dollars too. If you have a little thing, it's like a $300, little thing, you're going to make like collecting cans or something small. I don't think it, but for big ones, big fundraisers with tens of thousands of dollars and thousands of people, I think it's smart to absolutely have insurance.
But if you have it at a location, obviously they have insurance, like, a Timber Banks or somewhere you have a Bellevue Country Club, they have the insurance. The other thing is we come up to wedding season, no, my girls aren't married yet.
I thought you were going to drop something here on us.
No, Gomez, you guys will have a whole segment on that someday. But as you guys know, you're going to farms and warehouses in the middle of nowhere. Those are the items that, the couple better take out insurance because, they're serving alcohol depending on who does it. A lot of these weddings, grandma and the aunts are making all the dinner and, the cousins, the bartender. Make sure you have a little bit of coverage for that in an outlying location, not at a at a place that has obviously the insurance, at a big restaurant or hospitality place like the Hotel Syracuse. So it's just important to make sure you think about it as you're signing these contracts in whatever type of thing you're doing. So,
Joe, I had a fundraiser with some other people, and it was literally at a place like you're talking about, like a barn in the middle of nowhere it didn't even have its own electricity. It had nothing. And when you rented this venue, part of the reason we didn't go there, I mean, it was a really cool venue and I could see it working out. You had to have your own insurance. They had insurance, but us as the renters, we had to have like event for the day coverage. And we were like, no kidding. More
expense. And then, of course, the easy one that, Gomez may win all the time is hole-in-one insurance for golf. Yeah. And, so Gomez can collect when he wins that trip on a par 3. Those are insured. And, very common. You see cars, you see cash, you see clubs for all the golfers out there. Most of that stuff is insured at all these events that Gomez plays in throughout the summer.
Have you ever seen the movie Semi-Pro with Will Ferrell and the Tropics basketball team?
No, why?
It's just a silly, goofy Will Ferrell comedy from a few years ago, but he is part owner of a semi-pro basketball team in like Lansing, Michigan, or somewhere. Mm-hmm. But they have one of those 3/4 court shots for $10,000, and the guy makes it. And there's no insurance on it. That's part of the one part of the little storyline of the thing. So he's got to somehow come up with $10,000 to pay this guy because he didn't have the insurance.
They could have spent $300 or less, and it would have been fine.
There you go.
And somebody's out there yelling, "Noonan, miss Noonan."
Last thing, let's wish the SU women's and men's lacrosse good luck in all the tournaments and NCAA. I think the guys have ACC this weekend. I think we're going to do well this spring.
And then, obviously, the ACC tournament Friday, and then Selection Sunday, and both men's and women's teams will find out where they're headed in the upcoming NCAA tournament. Yeah,
so some exciting things, and obviously the weather's getting better for us golfers.
Good deal. Joe, we'll see you soon, hopefully out on the golf course, but definitely talking to you again in a couple of weeks.
You got it. Have a great week and weekend, guys.
Thank you, Joe.